Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to talk about my favorite hanging plants. So these are usually trailing, kind of just right up against my window, and I'm really feeling this look lately, so wanted to share it with you guys. But before we get started, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more planty videos like these. So yeah, let's get started. First off, I want to talk about the one and only, my favorite, the Pothos. So this is, I think the scientific name is Epipremnum something, but yeah, commonly known as Pothos. I have two different varieties in here. So there's the Marble Queen and the Golden Pothos. So this side, I think you'll see, is more Marble Queen-like. So very highly variegated, creamy, white, kind of beautiful splashing, as you can see. Very amazing. I love this side. So beautiful. And then the other side here is more of the Golden Pothos side. So it has more of the green with just a hint of like golden yellow variegation. Not all of them have variegation, but I really love the side as well. And I think it just looks really nice together when they're potted up. So as long as the plant has the same care, it doesn't matter if they're potted up together or separate, and having them together just makes watering easier for me. And I kind of like a more bushy plant look. Like, look at this. I only got this, I think, a few months ago, and they were small 4-inch pots. So now it's kind of filled in its pot, looks really nice. The top doesn't look bald, and there's a few trailing pieces. So I would say this can kind of spice up any room and just look really nice up against your window. So if you have like a south facing window, obviously you want to have like a sheer curtain just to kind of diffuse the light a little bit. Otherwise you'd probably burn this plant. But for me, I have a north facing window and I don't really get any direct sunlight, so it doesn't really harm the plant, but it does get a lot of kind of bright light since it's right up against the window. It's almost like it's outside, right? But yeah, this one is one of my favorites. So that's plant number one. Plant number two is actually this one. So this one is similar to the Pothos. They look very kind of similar in appearance, but this one is called the Scindapsus Pictus, and it's the Silvery variety. So commonly known, I mean, sometimes people call it like silver pothos, silver sand pothos, whatever, but they're not pothos, they're actually Scindapsus, and it has beautiful silvery variegation with some green splashing, and each leaf could look completely different, and I absolutely love it. So here are some of the new leaves. This vine is starting to trail. This side is starting to trail as well. So this is considered a low light plant along with the Pothos, but I find if you kind of hang it right in front of a window very close to it, it actually grows a lot better. So the leaves come out bigger and it's just more variegation all around, just a more healthy plant. So although plants can tolerate low light, it doesn't mean that they prefer to be in low light. So that's why I love to hang this right up against my window, and it's just trailing beautifully. I find that I like the Exotica less, so the Scindapsus Pictus Exotica less than the Argyrius or the Silvery Ann. I like kind of slightly smaller leaves and not as prominent silver variegation. That's why I like these, and I don't know, everyone just has their own preference, but this one is one of my favorites. Next up is my Hoya Pubicalyx. So this is a nice bushy guy as well. Once it starts kind of throwing out the tendrils and branching out, it actually starts to kind of flop over, so it like trails. You could actually put this up on a trellis as well if you want it to grow upwards, but I kind of like more the trailing look for this Hoya. Some of my Hoyas I like to trellis up, but this one, because it's so bushy and it's so full, I think it would look really nice kind of hanging up against my window. I do kind of change my mind every now and then. I sometimes like to have it up against my window hanging, and then sometimes I like to just have it on my plant shelf just because it's a lot easier to water. If I put this in a macrame hanger, it's kind of just a hassle to like take it down because it's so bushy and full at the top. There's so many like leaves that get in the way when I'm trying to water it. So I do prefer to take it down and water it like in the sink or the bathtub so that I don't have water spilling everywhere because it's right above my bed. Nobody wants water all over your bed. So yeah, I think it's really important for me, at least when I choose my hanging plants for my macrame hangers, is that they're prolific growers. So it kind of grows really nicely, and like they're low maintenance plants just because you can actually see it kind of start cascading down very quickly, and you don't have to constantly worry about it and inspect the plant. So with these, I don't really take them down. The only one to take down is probably my Pubicalyx, just because it's a little harder to water. All the other ones I water maybe every like 7 to 10 days. Especially my next one, I water like once a month. So very, very low maintenance. Next one is actually another Hoya. So this one is my Hoya Carnosa Crimson Queen. So it's a cream queen because the variegation is on the outside borders and not on the inside. If it's on the inside, it's a Crimson Princess. So yeah, this one is a Hoya Carnosa variety. So it means it's a very fast grower, very low maintenance. It can tolerate low light, but it prefers brighter indirect light. So when the leaves first come out, it's so stinking beautiful. It's like pink, and slowly over time it'll start fading to a cream color. So the new growth always comes out pink. You see? Stunning. So yeah, this one's also a really fast grower. I see so many new leaves. The new leaves come out lighter and more pink, and they're thinner so you can feel it. How I water this guy is I usually just touch the leaves. If I notice that it's really kind of wrinkly and soft, that's when I water it, which happens to be every 3 to 4 weeks. So very low maintenance, and I think this adds kind of like a different texture to all my other hanging plants because they're more like thinner leaves and like heart-shaped. This one is like a very waxy foliage, which I really like, kind of the contrast. Last but not least, plant number 5 is my Philodendron. So this one is my heartleaf Philodendron. I don't know why, but I absolutely love just the plain variety so much more than the Brazil, my Rio Silver Stripe, the lemon lime Philodendron. I just like the plain green variety. I don't know, is that weird? I feel like everyone else likes all the variegated kinds of philodendrons, but I just like this plain heartleaf one. So yeah, what I noticed with this one was when I kept it kind of further from my window or any grow light in kind of like a darker corner, the leaves came out super small. So because it was also winter, I didn't get a lot of light, it wasn't near the window, the growth came out tiny. So this is an example. So this leaf is very small. So that one is also very tiny. You can see the old leaves are huge, right? Like, look at that. That's huge. And now the new growth is also coming in very big as well. So this one's a really big leaf. And I think it's really happy hanging up by my window. A little dusty just because I don't really take this guy down. Same with my other Pothos and Scindapsus. But yeah, this one also, oop, soil got everywhere. This one is also hanging up against my window and loving the northern light, no direct sunlight, and yeah, it's doing really well. I don't overwater this guy. I let the foliage tell me when I need to water it. I tend to do that with a lot of my plants. I just kind of feel the leaves, if they feel really limp or wrinkly, soft, any of those, then I just give it a good drink and it perks right back up. So this one's also a really easy plant and it's starting to trail. A good little tip is if you buy 2 smaller plants, you can combine it and make one big plant as opposed to spending more money on a 6-inch pot. But you just have to make sure you don't pot it up all weird like mine. But I mean, it's not awful, honestly. And I kind of like how quirky it looks. So that's my last one, and it's the Philodendron Heartleaf green variety. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I would love to hear what your top 5 trailing hanging plants are. So comment them down below so we can all talk about plants. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And see you next time. Bye.